So this is where we slow the show down and talk about some really important topics that impact all of us, including the state of Black America, which is definitely a huge one. And if you don't know this face, this is Mr. Marc Morial, the president and CEO of the National Urban League. Thank you so much for giving us some time.
Hey, thanks for having me. Congratulations on the show, and it's always good to be in the great city of Chicago.
I know you're here visiting for the National Bar Association.
Yes.
That they're having their functions here for the rest of the week.
Yeah, they're here for their 100th anniversary conference, and of course, I'll also be visiting this afternoon and tomorrow my colleagues here in Chicago at the Chicago Urban League, led by Karen Freeman Wilson. So we'll be in dialogue with them too about the issues of the day.
Yeah, I know Karen very well. Let's talk about what some of those issues are. The state of Black America, there's an emergency. Let's talk about it.
So this emergency stems from several things. Number one, the assault on both democracy and voting. That's been underway for many, many years since the Supreme Court's decision in 2013, which really weakened the Voting Rights Act. So it's led to literally, and maybe not so much in Illinois, but across the nation, an assault by the passage of state laws which make it harder for people to vote, which politicize the elections process. So that's one impact, and it's been sort of accelerated by the new administration and its executive orders. The second has been an assault on economic opportunity. So when I think of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I think of economic opportunity, the opportunity for people to have the job, get the promotion, own the home, sit in the C-suite, sit around the boardroom table. And there's been an assault by these executive orders, and also pressure being placed on universities, pressure being placed on private corporations. Think of the attack on university grants. It's unnecessary, it's so out of bounds, but it is very real, saying to universities, you need to do as we say if you want to keep your money.
What does that do in the long run? Because we have seen where some of those grants do go to people that may not be able to go to college, and especially Black and brown people.
Look, we've had a 70-year, if you will, history in this country of progress. Opening doors. The civil rights movement opened doors to African Americans, to women, to people who are Latino and Asian, disabled Americans. Think of the Americans with Disabilities Act. You've had this long, long history. Now that long history is being attacked. Make it harder for people to get the job. Make it harder for them to be promoted. Make it harder for them to attend a community college or a four-year college or a technical school so that they can fulfill their dreams to be part of the American economic mainstream. The State of Black America report this year is really a commentary on the state of the union. And I am concerned that what we are seeing now, and if you add to that this, I call it the big ugly bill, and the cutbacks, let's throw 20 million people off of health care. Let's close the doors to higher ed for people. The long-term impact on America is not going to be good. We are in a competition economically with the Chinas of the world, with the Indias of the world. We cannot compete if we do not have every able-bodied young person who has an opportunity to fulfill their dreams. And that's, these policy attacks are going to choke and squeeze, if you will, the ladder of prosperity and the ladder of success.
You know, I think people often wonder, hey, you know, what can I do? They hear about this. So what can everyday people do to help after this report's released?
Number one, you need to be a very aggressive voter. You've got to vote. You've got to get everyone in your family to vote. I want to see younger Americans vote in record numbers in 2026. I want to see Black Americans and Latinos who did not vote to the extent that we should have in 2024 vote in large numbers in 2026. Number two, you've got to use your voice. I see people with their phones. I see them with Instagram. You need to post and comment on issues of the day, not just on your favorite celebrity, your favorite music, your favorite fashion, your favorite sports personality or icon.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to spend half my time talking about the issues of the day. And I think it's so important that we say that we need to be active citizens. Those of us who are more activists, we will litigate. We will bring challenges to public policy. We will assert a vision of America, which is a vision that I think is, as opposed to a vision of yesterday, is truly a vision of tomorrow.
What do you do in the next 3 years to make sure that young people are going to vote? Because we know that. We know that a lot of these young people have not been voting. What do you do to change their mind? We got to listen to young people. We got to listen to them. We got to hear their concerns, their fears.
their reluctance to participate in the political process, first of all, we got to listen. Second of all, we got to make sure young people are engaged. Look, I was a young elected official. I got elected at the age of 32 to the Louisiana State Senate. I got elected at the age of 35 as mayor of New Orleans. I was the youngest mayor of a major American city. We need young people to run for office, right? We need young people to offer themselves up, indeed, for leadership positions, bring their voice and bring their concerns to the political process, to the civic process in America. We need young people to get involved and active in organizations, civic organizations, community organizations, faith-based organizations. I say let's not be silent citizens who may be PO'd, upset. Let's be active citizens. So we provide an opportunity through the National Urban League, and our local affiliate, the Chicago Urban League, has the Chicago Urban League Young Professionals, which is an organization that people can be involved in. They do a variety of activities, community-based activities, to support our mission each and every day. We have 93 affiliates across the nation. In Illinois, we are in Chicago, we are in the Quad Cities, we're in East St. Louis. We have a presence in this state. We're in Springfield, if you will. So we urge people to be involved. I want you to be involved in the Urban League. If the Urban League isn't for you, get involved in some community-based activities, some organizations that's working for justice, some organizations that are fighting for economic opportunity.
What do you say to young people that may feel like, okay, these policy changes, because I've heard this from young people, this is for the old folks, this isn't impacting me right now.
Hey, guess what? Stay tuned and it will. 20 million people losing health care, many of them are young Americans. Think about the young mom who maybe 40% of all women in America rely on Medicaid to deliver their child. Think about young families who work in a job that does not provide health care, and therefore Medicaid is essential to them going to the doctor, confronting asthma or ADHD or any type of ailments. It will impact you, or it will impact someone you love, care for. This is the important point. It may impact your mom. My mom needed nursing care, needed home care before she passed a year ago, and so to some extent it may impact your family. So many Americans who end up with home care or nursing care need Medicaid, but it won't only affect Medicaid. This big ugly bill is also going to affect those that took advantage of the expansion of health care that took place because of the Affordable Care Act, or what some people called Obamacare. So some 20 million people's health care is at risk. Look at the deficit the Chicago public schools are facing. Well, to some extent, that is because of cuts in federal dollars that are coming down the pike. Think, if you're a citizen of Illinois, you are a donor state. Illinois sends more money to Washington than it gets back from Washington. So when we say give Illinois its fair share, give a community its fair share, it's your money. It's just coming back to invest in your prosperity and your upward mobility.
Do you feel like, families aren't really having this conversation enough at the dinner table? Because yes, we could hear it on social media, but I think, it starts at home, having these important conversations with whatever your beliefs may be.
I think you're so right. We've got to have conversations, civic discussions, civic debates. It's okay to disagree. It's okay, but if we are discussing it, are we having those discussions respectfully? Are we having it based on fact? Are we just having it based on hyperbole and hype? So I think you're so right. Those discussions need to take place in the community, in the family, at the dinner table, on the corner, in the church, in the classroom, on the playground. We need to be having these discussions. So the State of Black America talks about this very, very serious emergency. And I think right now we are saying it's a warning sign, right? Some of the impact of these policies may not have impacted you just yet, may not have impacted your family or your community just yet, but they will.
I always talk about in my household that people don't read. And the reason why I say that, here's a great example of why we always talk about people not reading, is because before this administration was voted into office, there was another document that came out
2025
that kind of outlined what we may see with this new administration, and then some of it has come to fruition. People didn't read.
And look, President Trump head faked everybody. when they asked him about Project 2025, he said, I don't know anything about it. I'm not really for it. But then it became the central document for the domestic policies of his administration. So do people read? They sure read their phones.
They do.
They sure do read those texts. They sure do read those emails. They sure do read that IG page. I think it is not only not whether people read or not, but what they are reading and what they're paying attention to. And so you can follow me at Marc Morial. You can follow the National Urban League at Nat Urban League on social media and keep in touch with the discussion on these issues. You can follow your favorite civic leader, your favorite political leader, your favorite civil rights leader. I encourage people to put some energy into informing themselves around these issues as much as following your favorite celebrity.
Well, that was going to be part of my question is people didn't read that document that we were just talking about. Why do you think it's important for them to read the document that you're putting out?
They need to read it to understand the condition and also to get a perspective beyond the news of how these policies are impacting them. Impacting, yes, Black America, but impacting the whole of America.
Perfect. All right, and you said people can follow where? One more
At
time.
Nat Urban League or at Marc Morial. It's Marc Morial, MarcMorial. Follow me, be in this conversation, and be an active and informed citizen